Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of getTekt Gaming Edition. Tonight we're going to be talking about many things about the PlayStation experience, such as Marvel vs. Capcom, what's going to come out now, Crash Bandicoot Collection Remastered and a Wipeout Collection Remastered. Alright, that's what I'm talking about. And what everybody's been waiting for and hoping for, The Last of Us 2. That and much more on this episode of getTekt Gaming. See you there.
Welcome everybody to another getTekt Gaming.
Are you Macho Man?
Gaming!
Welcome everybody. We are all here. Myself, Mr. Barracu, Mr. ISG Bazinga, and the one over there in the window, which my hand goes through. There's Grim.
I'm sorry, dude. When you did that intro, all I kept thinking was, let me tell you, brother, right here, brother, Pontiac Silverdome, brother.
Okay, Grim has
talked so close to the mic.
Grim has a lot to talk about this week.
I have a lot of mention, but not a lot to talk about because they didn't give us a ton of information on any of this stuff.
Yeah, it was very thin.
The info was thin, but what they showed, I'm shocked at how many things they showed at that thing.
Mm-hmm. All right. How's everybody doing?
Very
Before
good.
we get started? You good? How you doing, Grim?
I'm doing excellent, man. I just got done playing some Let It Die. My Final Fantasy is going great, and I am loving me some Final Fantasy.
How's the game capture working for you?
Now that I got it working right, great and bad.
Yeah.
It's great because I got it working, but the hoops I had to go through, and now every time I use it, I have to like put my mouse over my OBS, and I can't move it off of there, or else it will take the full screen off because you can't just turn full screen on.
Ooh.
And I'm capturing the full screen off the program in the OBS, so like I got to make sure not to hit the keyboard the wrong way, or else the whole video is useless, and I got to start it over. But I've got it working, and it's recording great, and the videos look way better, and that's what matters the most.
Oh, good.
Just to let everybody know, before we begin about talking about games, you on Amazon Prime account, you can get one, and you can get H1Z1 King of the Kill for free right now.
Oh, so only spend $100.
These couple days only. I saw that promotion earlier, so I forgot to mention.
I built my new PC today, and last night, and
last year.
And so that's sitting right over there. It's not running yet, but it turns on. That's a start. It's fully built. I just need to install all the drivers and Windows and BIOS updates.
No, have you ran? Did you see if it posts and check the?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all set. So let's go.
So Captain America and Morgan confirmed for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Along with what was her name? Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
Which is the chick, but I don't know much about the newer comic book characters because I don't read comics anymore.
I'm happy to see Darksiders still making their way.
Well, when you think about it, Capcom has a small stable, so if we're lucky, we'll get a lot of the Capcom guy. Like what's that Slayer guy with the big broadsword? I forget his name.
The Slayer guy with the big broadsword.
From Night Stalkers.
Oh, I can't remember his name. I know what you're talking about though. I can't think of his name right now though. This reminds me, the way this game looks, it reminds me of Street Fighter EX.
Yeah. I think it's Dimitri, but I could be wrong. And let me take a look at some pictures.
It looks just like the Batman game.
The Batman game?
DC Universe, or whatever it is. Is that what it's called, Grim?
The Batman game?
The DC fighting game.
Oh, you mean Injustice.
Injustice,
yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah.
When I said that, my mind went completely off. The guy I'm talking about is Dmitry Maximoff, the vampire dude name.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
He had a broadsword, but for some reason I'm not seeing it in any of the pictures.
Yeah, I don't think he...
I could have swore there was a guy with a broadsword in that game. He was a vampire hunter.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I'm sorry, you sidetracked me. But anyway, I would like to see him in the game. All those characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I still want my X-Men, but it's not confirmed yet they're not in it, though, so...
Just Wolverine. I know Wolverine's in it.
Yeah.
As of now, none of those characters are in it. No Wolverine, nothing.
But why is he on the cover?
Of the original?
No, he's like on like whenever they show it.
Yeah, those are the older. Those are the older
that's
ones.
the older ones. Yeah.
due to licensing things and the whole thing with Marvel and Fox, they're not going to be using the mutants. So now Marvel vs. Capcom is a 2v2 fighting game now instead of 3v3. They've scaled it back. Hopefully that means they'll add buttons in because they remove buttons as the series went on. It used to be a 3-button fighter, if I'm not mistaken, and now it's a 2-button fighter. Not 2-button, but you know what I mean. Like, there used to be low, medium, high.
Yeah.
And now it's just low, high.
That's weird.
Supposedly the
Why would they
overall
do that?
fighting is going to be less chainy. Like, you're still going to be able to nuke people, but it's going to be less of that whole I juggle someone from start to finish crap.
Yeah, but that's like one of the things I like about it, though. That's gonna
That may
turn
be
me
one of
off.
the things you like about it, but it's one of the things that makes it unentertaining for people who like fighting games. Like, it's great to watch it. You watch like one of those tournaments and you're like, oh yeah, that's impressive. The guy never got a chance to fight back. But what's more exciting, a guy never getting a chance to fight back, or one of those great Street Fighter finals when they're going down to the last hit and they're really working it out and they're like pulling off great defense and coming back, and both of them are putting up a great fight. That's way more entertaining.
Okay, yes, that's more entertaining. But as far as enjoying as a player, I enjoy the chainingness.
Yeah, but
as a
that's why
player.
you love Street Fighter. I mean, that's why you love Mortal Kombat, and that's why I hate you for it. One of those games.
boom, 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 boom. 30-hit
Yeah,
combo.
it's one of those. All I have to do is hit one combo and I win. I'm cool.
Well, who
No,
really
come on.
started that? I know Tekken was one of the first.
Well,
I-
Tekken, you can get out of anything. Once you
Yeah,
hit the
yeah.
ground, you can bust out. You just got to know how to do it.
Yeah, but no, as far as those infinite combos, it was Killer Instinct in Mortal Kombat that first started doing it.
Yep. So that's
Killer
basically
Instinct,
all
yeah.
the info we have, though, is that it's a 2v2 fighting game now. Also, if you watch the trailer, they're doing something with the Infinity Gems, and I think it's going to be kind of like the isms from Street Fighter 3 and Street Fighter Alpha. And if you don't know what that is, basically, you could pick one of, I think, 3. It's been a long time since I played, people. Don't quote me on this. One of them gave you like a full-blown special bar that you drained when you used your move, but did a ton of. It was like a crazy super move. Then there was another one that was broken into 3 parts, and you could do multiple special moves. And then there was one that gave you like unlimited combo. You could do like an unbreakable chain, kind of.
Yeah.
And it looks like these gems each have that setting. So I'm thinking when you pick your characters, you pick which gem they want to use, and that's how their special meter is designed.
Yeah, that's just like Street Fighter Alpha.
Yeah, at least that's what it looks like from the trailer. I mean, that's all the info I got. I was too busy drooling over Nino Kuni to really look up everything else.
So there's been a few announcements. What's one to next here?
Yeah, what else we got?
So
here?
we've got a few announcements that have come up. We got one that's Crash Bandicoot PS4, which this guy was like the Mario of PlayStation for a while.
Yeah, this was announced at E3, but this
Yeah.
is the first actual gameplay footage that they've shown of it. I'm not a big Crash Bandicoot guy, but it looks cool, and I'll take collections any day of the week.
So what is it like there? His first 3 games? Or is
Yeah, I
it
believe
3
it's the
different
only
games?
3 games that were. Let me take a look at. I believe Crash only had 3 mainline games, right?
I think so. And then they
And
went
he
to
had
like
like
racing
side
and stuff.
ones and stuff.
Yeah.
You got to ask me about RPGs. You want to get the info correct?
But yeah, so this looks pretty cool, and I know
Oh
somebody.
God, I'm wrong, dude. There's like 20 of these things.
Oh, but like Crash Bandicoot, he was like unanimous. I remember there was like pretty much anti-Mario like
Oh
commercials
wow, that's
with him in it.
he looks completely
like,
different.
and they're pretty iconic games. You see these games all the time at like the speedrun conventions and stuff,
Yeah.
and some crazy things that go on with that.
Nate's showing off the gameplay trailer.
And it played a lot like, I would say when I played this, it reminded me a lot of Mario 64.
But it wasn't free roaming.
Not
No,
exactly, but the way it
It's
felt,
straight
though.
linear though.
The way it felt, though,
Yeah.
was like Mario 64 when you're
See,
playing it.
Nate's showing off the gameplay trailer, but the reality is everybody wants to see these. Because the Crash Bandicoot commercials were the best part of Crash Bandicoot. Like the one where he stands outside of it's either Nintendo or Sega's headquarters with the big megaphone, and he's like, "Hey, plumber boy."
Yeah. You stand outside Nintendo. Nintendo USA headquarters.
And then we got a Wipeout collection along
Wipeout.
with that exact.
Wipeout was one of the best games ever.
Yep. But a lot of the fans are complaining about the collection.
Really?
Well, because the collection is all the ones people don't care about of Wipeout. They're like the recent ones, like Wipeout Omega and stuff.
Oh yeah,
And
that's
it's
one of
annoying people because those aren't the ones that people want remade. It's kind of like when someone goes out and remakes, like, Final Fantasy 2 from NES, and people were like, "No, we want 7. What are you doing remaking 2?"
So what version? What game do they want?
I'd want the
They
first
want
one.
the original ones. Like
I want the
probably
first two at least.
Yeah.
because that thing's been around for a real long time. But it's gonna have full blown online. The PS3 one that they did was really good, so I don't see why this won't be bad. Like won't be good.
Yeah, no, it'll be good. It'll be good.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's gonna get VR. Oh God.
That'd be
That's
awesome.
Too much. Too much.
That would be
too much.
awesome. I would love
Dude,
that.
I couldn't even play Resident Evil demo. I'm starting to worry because I really want to play Ace Combat when it hits, and
Oh, that's gonna be rough.
I couldn't do the Resident Evil demo. It made me nauseous.
Aw.
What was that other demo we did? That you were flying?
Valkyrie, and that's the only
That
thing
wasn't
that has
bad.
Yeah, I didn't get anything from that, but this one, as soon as I started moving, I wasn't feeling too good that day anyway. So I'm gonna try it again. Take some like, what do you call it, anti-motion sickness stuff. But yeah,
Dramamine.
drink some ginger ale, take one, take
Yeah.
a pill, see what happens. I didn't pay $500 for nothing, people.
Okay, so PlayStation VR is the real way to experience Ace Combat 7
Which is why I bought it in the first place.
for this game.
Dude, Ace Combat is one of my
Hey,
favorite games.
I want Chuck Yeager virtual reality.
Dude,
What's that?
Chuck Yeager. Oh my god.
Criminals.
Quick side note. Do you know why Chuck Yeager's popular, Nate?
I don't
Why
even know
Chuck
who it
Yeager's
is.
amazing?
Well, Chuck Yeager was the guy who broke the sound barrier.
That's not all. That's just a small thing.
He shot down
Dude.
one of the first jets.
Dude, Chuck Yeager went to Russia when a guy defected with one of their fighter planes and without a
Yeah.
clue of how to fly it, flew it back.
I know. Yeah, he did that
That's
too.
why Chuck Yeager is awesome. He was like, "This isn't Russian,
Yeah, and he
Mother
and
Russia."
He engaged the Third Reich's jets. He was one of the first men to be in a basically a kind of a dogfight with a jet, and he shot him down.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's good that they weren't good. These guys flying these jets made mistakes, because if they were good, we'd all be speaking German right now, because they were amazing.
Dude, all
Well,
you have
they,
to do
they
is look at
hired like
history.
teenagers and said, "Here you go."
Yeah.
And didn't give them any training.
All you gotta do is look at history. I mean, if you ask any pilot, one of the most legendary pilots is the Red Baron. That guy was
Yeah.
like an ace above aces.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
read up on him. I watched a movie they did recently about him. That guy is insane.
Yeah.
The stuff he used to do.
No, the
But
reason
anyway,
why-
as for Ace Combat, Nate, yes, I'm a huge fan of this game. I can't wait to check it out in VR. Ace Combat has always been one of the better fighter pilot games because they
Yeah.
don't take it. It's not 100% realistic. So it's like making a UFC fighting game. You have to put gamey stuff in it to make it good. And that's what Ace Combat was. And I cannot wait to get online and hopefully play it without getting motion sickness.
Well, yeah, it was like the arcade like jet fighter, pretty much.
Dude, yeah, me and Penny used to play that thing all day, all night, hours on end.
And if everybody's wondering why I said, "Hey, what about Chuck Yeager?" Because there was a game on DOS years ago, DOS called Chuck Yeager's Air Combat. It had so many options for a computer game back then. It was crazy because it was so versatile. Because it was like everything from like prop plane fighting all the way to like super jet fighting, and you could do all kinds of stuff. You obviously had a very crappy graphics, but it was pretty much flight simulator mixed with like combat.
They were realistic back in the day. Okay?
And in my mind, it was the greatest thing ever playing that at your house. But I know if
Yeah.
we turned it on now, we would be laughing at how terrible.
Oh yeah,
it
it
is.
would be completely terrible.
But oh man, so that's why I can't wait to play some Ace Combat, and that's exactly why I bought my VR, because as soon as they said that, I was like, that's the perfect game for it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing that comes close. You
I
just gotta figure
I
out.
want a game like that escape from the guy's game that we played.
Oh, the heist? That
The
was
heist.
great. It was.
I want a game like
on-
that, but with like controls.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
That was forget the controls. Just give me like a 10-hour like Lethal Enforcer style game like that. That I can
Oh,
play
that
with
would be
other
fun,
people.
too.
That'd be cool as hell.
Or with a little bit more into it.
Well, do you think you don't need to move around if they go like, all right,
Yeah.
after that chase, you get on a plane and
Yeah.
you're in the plane and you're using like a helicopter. You're using the minigun from the helicopter to fire at like boats that are shooting
Yeah.
up at you and
I don't
stuff.
know, I
There's
think it'd be-
plenty they can do.
It'd be cool if they had like VR driving somehow with the controllers or something in those driving scenes. We're like, oh.
Which brings me to my other reason why I bought it. Gran Turismo Sport. Those are the two reasons why I got that system. And hopefully we'll see a big explosion of people picking it up when that comes out, because that stuff's going to be good.
Yeah. So the next game we have on our list, I believe, is...
I don't know if we want to talk about this one. Are you sure?
The only
I don't know if we want to say. Let's skip it.
No, show that trailer. Show that trailer.
Ni
I want
no
the
Kuni 2.
people watching to see the greatest looking video game of all time.
This one, what? Best RPG? What year was it?
I don't think Ni no Kuni won Best RPG because people are jackasses.
I'm pretty sure it did.
Oh no, it did. It was just hard to get. But like, the thing that's so amazing about it is the cartoon gameplay looks like a cartoon.
Oh yeah. Well, there was a few that did this.
It's crazy.
Awarded Best RPG by VGX Awards. Yeah, all right. They don't matter.
Yep.
They don't matter though. No one takes them seriously. That's the problem. No one takes VGX seriously.
Look,
but
it looks like you're playing cartoon characters.
Yeah,
see,
they're not pixelated or nothing.
I got to get on a small rant here because this is how RPGs should be if Japanese developers didn't listen to the Western people. Like Final Fantasy 15 is a great game, but that is a game that was made because Western fanboys of like Mass Effect complained that they weren't free enough and all that crap.
Oh, like free roaming. This
is what Japanese RPG should have became. It has an overworld map that feels like old school overworld maps, but is updated and beautiful, like they should be on the new systems. It's got an excellent combat system. Yeah. It's like the natural evolution of a Japanese RPG, and everybody's chasing Mass Effect. I don't even like Mass Effect.
But some people do.
Yes, Western fans. So make Western RPGs for Western fans, but don't kill off the Japanese RPG to try to cater to Western fans.
Now, when they had all these Western RPGs, what happened to the Japanese RPGs?
Well, that's what happened. Like
how many of them there were there though? They dwindled down.
Exactly, but that's because at one point they started changing and stopped evolving their style and started copying the Western style. Like Final Fantasy X was the first one where they were like, all right, we're gonna limit the scope of the world so that we can have way better graphics and make the game look amazing. And that was the first step, and then it slowly but surely they started weeding out what makes them great.
Yeah, and that was the first Final Fantasy. I got about halfway through, and I said I can't finish this game. It's horrible.
I enjoyed it, but it
Final
wasn't.
Fantasy X.
Oh, 10? See, that's like the second one I played. I played 9 or no, 8. 8 or 9. I think I played 8.
It's why I always say, like, remember, I always talk about Dragon Quest VIII. Dragon Quest VIII is another fine example of how you evolve Japanese RPGs while keeping their style.
Dragon Quest has done a great job of keeping their series authentic.
And yet still being fresh and new every time. Yeah. And that's, I don't know why, but just Japanese developers stopped evolving and started copying the Western games.
There's one that was disappointing. I can't remember right now the name of it. Probably because I just blocked out my mind. Because the one big problem I have with Japanese, what do you call it, JRPGs lately is let's play for 5 seconds, cutscene. Play for 5 seconds, cutscene. Play for 5 seconds, cutscene. Okay, stop it with the cutscenes.
Which wouldn't be that annoying if the world, like, take the Tales games. They have a ton of cutscenes, but then you don't get the freedom.
Yeah, it was Tales of Xillia. That was it.
Yeah, but you don't get the freedom you used to get, remember? Like, in an old Tales game, you'd have, like, 5... Remember Tales of Symphonia? You'd have cutscenes left and right. But right after those cutscenes, what happened? You'd go out of the town, and all of a sudden you have a big, giant open world map that you can look and explore. So you didn't care about those cutscenes, because you got to explore a world.
Well, yeah,
but now
that's true.
Doesn't exist.
No, you're right. But, Tales of Symphonia was amazing, right?
Yes, because every cutscene led to another open world for you to look at.
Yeah, Tales of Xillia, it was like... Let's play for 5 seconds, cutscene. Play for 5 seconds. Then I got to the end of the game. I'm like, is there even a game here?
Really, that much?
It was bad.
Yeah, Zestiria is much better. The Zestiria went back to more of an open feeling world. It feels like a world that's connected.
So
I've been saying this ever.
These before they
market
them? How do you keep track of which Tales game it is when they all start with like the same thing?
Well, they don't. The series is called Tales of, and they don't ever connect.
Yeah, there's never a connection.
But they always seem to have a Z in it.
Well,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
Zillia is actually an I, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it's Zillia and then Tales of Zillia too.
Yeah, then
Tales of Zephyr Hills.
there's
yeah.
Tales of Grace. There's all of them. There's a bunch of them. They're all not. What do you call it? They have like very brief connections. Like Tales of Symphonia had a connection to one of the other ones. Very small connections though.
Yeah, they're slowly working their way back, which is why I hope Final Fantasy 15 is a big hit. Because although it's emulating Western in some way, they found a balance like Xenoblade. But the truth of the matter is, like, Ni no Kuni and Dragon Quest need to be massive hits. Because if they are, then these devs will go, you know what, we don't need to copy you. Like, look at Persona. Persona has never copied anyone, and that game went from being a blip on the radar to people making fun of Final Fantasy in, like, the same sentence as telling you how great Persona is. That's how big Persona has become. It might be the bigger game now, depending on how good 5 does.
Mhm.
And that's all Japanese. They don't copy anything in that.
Yeah.
So our next one here is, what do you call it?
Knack 2.
Knack 2. Biggest surprise. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, because didn't the first one did not do too good? Well, it was supposed to, and it just was like, eh.
I've never heard of it, but
I have.
Well, I know I've been talking a lot, but in defense of
Looks
Knack
fun.
1, and I'm not defending this because I'm a fanboy. I'm not defending it because I'm a Sony fanboy. Knack 1 was your typical launch game. It was
yeah.
rush to get it out and do everything you can to get it out at a hit date. And some launch titles are terrible, some are average, and some are great. Very rarely are they great. That was what Knack 1 is. But Knack 2 is what, 3 years out now? Like, since launch, it's been 3 years. So you're looking at a game that's coming out next year. They've had almost a 4-year cycle of development if they've been working on this game since then. There's a good chance this game might turn out pretty good. I know it's an internet joke. It's such an internet joke, people think that bad karma, us making fun of it, has made it happen.
Well, there's nothing wrong with it actually being good.
Yeah. But, like,
I'm sure it wasn't that bad either. Yeah.
The defense I used the other day, yesterday with a friend on Twitter was that everybody knows Rise, Son of Rome was a bad game on Xbox One. But if they announced that Rise, Son of Rome 2 was coming out at the end of next year, you would look and go, well, that would be 4 years. Maybe they had time to make that launch title into something great because it was a launch title. You'd give it a fair chance.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with this. Launch titles come out average. That's how launch titles are.
Yeah, and they also don't. A lot of times they don't use the full potential of the console right at the beginning either.
Yeah, they don't have time.
Yeah, because like, I think the only time I really noticed was when Xbox 360 came out, and it was close to launch. I'm not sure if it was on launch, but Call of Duty 2, regular Call of Duty 2. When that demo was on the store, I was like obsessed with it. I could not believe how great it looked on the Xbox 360.
Call of Duty 2?
Yeah, it looked amazing.
That was the last first-person shooter I played completely through.
Yeah. But it looked great on the Xbox 360, and I couldn't stop playing. I was like, I beat those demo. I played the demo. I was like, I played it on hard or whatever just to get it done. Oh, it was so fun.
Dude, that Normandy invasion scene where you have to climb the hill, mountains and stuff. Oh.
Yeah, but the graphics look great, and that was almost a launch game.
And yeah, if you look back at it a year later, go, oh no, the graphics were terrible. You go, dude, man, screw you. You didn't try. That game's crap. No, it was a launch game. They had the rush. That's how it is.
Yeah, that's usually how it is.
Yeah. So, Yakuza.
Don't even get me started on Yakuza, dude. I started thinking about whether or not I'm going to stream all the Yakuza games.
Have you ever played a Yakuza game?
I have never finished one because they're like the GTA of Japan. And
okay, is that what they are?
Dude, that is an example of what I was talking about before too. When I said that Japan needs to go its own way, they looked at Gran Turismo and said, "All right, that's a good idea, but let's do our own style." And thus Yakuza was born. You see a gun in that trailer, there's no gunplay in Yakuza. Very rare. Everything's like, imagine taking Streets of Rage, putting it 3D, but then building an entire RPG around it where you actually build.
A long time to get to them.
Wow.
Like literally, they built an RPG around one of those classic beat 'em up games, and they give you like a massive skill tree to build up and all that.
Yeah, but speaking of Streets of Rage, we'll probably cover this next week. Streets of Rage is getting a movie.
Oh,
There's a
God,
couple.
it'll be so
Streets of
bad.
Rage and something else too. I don't remember what it was.
So, but for information there, it's the 6th game. If you want to play Yakuza, you got to play them all because they connect. The stories connect in a way. That little girl is part of some other stuff. The one that's called Yakuza Kiwami, so people know over here, that's Yakuza 0 in Japan, and that's the prequel of the original or the remake of the original. I'm not exactly sure which one. But if you want to play Yakuza, you have to play them all. They should have released a box set by now, or at least watch the videos because they put like massive videos. Yakuza, I think it's 4, the one I own, has a good hour and a half of videos that tell you the entire story of the last 3 games in them. So,
I'd like to say that's a nice window you got there.
oh, what happened? I didn't move the camera. It
Yeah.
must have moved when I picked up the PlayStation controller.
Yeah.
So, The Last of Us trailer. New Last of Us coming out.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have a conversation about all this.
And we saw this girl just playing her guitar. Just
Dude, that's-
delightfully
that-
playing guitar with zombies all dead around her.
You see,
This is a
right there,
commercial. This
viewers.
is a commercial.
This is how you know he's never played the game, because he said that there was a girl just sitting there playing her guitar. He didn't understand one bit of what any of it meant. But why the video is playing, I'll give you a quick rundown so you understand why I want to talk about The Last of Us. So basically the premise of The Last of Us was a girl that was immune to this virus that would... What the fuck? I'm sorry, my PlayStation just said it can't start Netflix.
All right.
Oh, all right,
So-
anyway. Go ahead, whatever you gotta say before I...
No,
Give it
no, The
back.
Last of Us is based on what?
Okay, The Last of Us is basically kind of a post-apocalyptic world where a fungus has like managed to destroy half of humanity. It makes you go crazy. You start killing people, and then eventually shit grows out of you, and you become a full-on dead plant kind of thing.
What's that fungus based on?
It's based on that thing that I don't know what it's called,
the
but
ants.
it's a real life
It's the one
thing.
that ants get in the...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically a parasite that gets
what's it called?
that gets into ants and basically it controls their brain.
Yeah.
It makes them march onto the
man,
top
that's
of
gonna
really
drive me
high
crazy.
spaces and jumps off and kills
Anyone
them. And
know
then the
it?
virus eats them and then moves on to another.
Yeah.
Or it will kill them in
Yeah.
a higher spot, and then it will pollinate out to the rest of the...
Yeah, it's a real.
Oh,
Okay,
thing
that's
so-
gonna drive me crazy.
I'll be
That
real
sounds
quick because the
crazy.
story is very
Yep.
deep. So
Yeah.
so basically, the main character Joel, at the beginning of the game, his daughter is killed when they're trying to escape the city. When all the hell is breaking loose, the soldiers kill her, and then flash forward like 10 years. He is put in a situation where he meets Ellie, this little girl who has been infected but isn't dying from the infection. So they
Yeah.
think she might be immune. So they travel across the country trying to meet up with these people called the Fireflies. They get there at the end, and this is where the whole crux of the story gets to and why they consider it one of the greatest stories ever told. They sit him down and they tell him that she's in the operating room. They're going to kill her because they need to study her brain and figure out what to save humanity. And in a fit of jealousy, you run rampage through these people, kill them all, reach the doctor's office, kill all of them, take the girl while she's half passed out, and you leave. She wakes up in the car, and you lie to her and tell her they couldn't figure out what it is. You're fine. We're leaving. And then at the time, she kind of passes out. Very end of the game, you're on a hill talking to her, and they ask her. She asked him if everything he said was true, and he lies like straight face right to her. And the way they shoot the scene, you can tell that they are trying to portray that she knows he's lying, but just accepts it. And then that's where the game ends, because she didn't want to die, and he couldn't give up another girl that he thought of as a daughter, like his last daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So now you fast forward here, and you have this girl who was a sweet girl who bawled her eyes out when she had to kill someone in that game. The one time she had to kill someone, she like bawled her eyes out up to the point where he gets injured, and then after that she's killing people left and right. And you see this girl who looks like a psychopath in this video now. These people are butchered, and her hand is shaking like she's shell-shocked. And that led to this theory that he's dead, and she's seeing him in his mind while they're talking in the trailer.
Okay.
Because she seems shell-shocked. Her hand's shaking. She's playing a damn guitar in front of the bloodbath that she caused, like it doesn't have any effect on her.
Oh yeah, of course she is. Yeah.
Jaded.
No, I didn't mean jealousy wobbles as in he was jealous. I mean, did I say jealousy? I meant selfishness. He selfishly wanted to make sure to keep her alive by keeping killing all these people, ignoring the fact that they could save humanity. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had a choice: save humanity or save this one girl. And because he was so afraid of losing this girl, he selfishly chose keep her alive, screw humanity.
Yeah,
that's what I meant. I didn't mean jealousy, people. My bad. I meant selfishness.
Yeah.
And it's, who's to say what the right answer was? But in general, people think he's dead, and they expect that it's all good. That scene is in her head, and he may not even show up during the game at all. But then Neil Druckmann said the story is about him and her, so no one knows for sure. But one thing is for sure: he said that the game is going to be focused on hate and revenge. So she must hate someone for something.
Or is it going to be, or he's going to be like to the whole game, and at the very end, you're going to find out he's actually dead.
It could be that too, but I think you'd catch on right away if his character's not doing anything, because he was like the heavy before, running around killing people.
Yeah, but there could be plenty of scenes, like plenty of shows and movies have done this, where the whole time it seems like the other character is actually like interacting and so much with the other character, and then at the end of the movie you realize all those horrible things that were happening, the main character was actually doing, and they were watching from outside their body these things going on.
I don't know what that sounds like.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about that.
Mr. Robot?
Yeah, just a little bit.
I'm not talking about that.
Yeah,
I'm talking about, like, when you're running around killing stuff, he's going to be there killing stuff too.
Yeah, I know, but I'm
See
saying
what I'm saying?
there's been plenty of movies that have done that, where you thought it was actually the main character doing it, and it was actually the main character was doing all the bloody things you saw the other guy doing the whole time.
Yeah, but in a video game, that would be more jarring for a player to see Joel running up and shooting people and saving your life. You'd be like, well, that doesn't make sense. He saved my life 4 times.
They did that
you know what I
in
mean?
Call of Duty Black Ops 2 or 1, didn't they?
Yeah, one of the two. Yeah.
I don't remember that, but if you're right, you're right. But that still doesn't refute what I'm saying about his selfishness in saving her. That was the point they were trying to get across, is that he had to make one or two choices, and he picked the one that he wanted over the one that she might want. And he didn't give her the choice. So that might have something to do with the storyline later on.
Yeah, that was definitely 3 movies that did that. Fight Club, with Identity and Driving Miss Daisy all did that same thing, where you watched all these things go on from the other perspective, then you realized it was from a different perspective the whole time.
Which brings me to my question I have to you guys, and that is, what do you guys think of game narratives? Is there anything that you want to see, or games that you really think did it really well? Like a discussion on game narration.
One game actually I would have to say that did really great. This was it 2015, I think it was 2015. The game Beyond, about the girl who could see what do you call it? Basically, could see almost like ghosts and stuff like that, and talk to like things around her.
I've never even heard of it.
It was very.
I've heard of it. I just never played it.
It was very cinematic as far as like telling. I would say as far as gameplay, I mean, it was like here or there. It was a lot like the hell was that game? I can't think of the game right now. Anyway, it plays a lot like a Telltale game.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. That's why I didn't play it.
But it's very cinematic though, which was great. It really told the story while keeping you interacted.
What about you, Bazinga? Are there any story-based games that you really, really enjoyed and had like an impact because the story was so well done?
Well, this is something... Well, actually, you know what? Most people don't even play the game for the freaking single player. The Call of Duty games, all right? Like a couple of the Modern Warfares, Black Ops. The story was actually really freaking good. Because everybody always plays them for the multiplayer, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, one of the stories was, like, the whole time he's, like, tied up and they're trying to get information out of him. And then he's
Black
like...
Ops, yep.
Yeah, and he keeps seeing this guy, and he thinks the guy's, like, fighting with him. They're fighting, and they're shooting, and they're killing. Come to find out, he's been what, Romanov or something like that?
The whole time.
He was dead the whole time. He didn't
Yeah.
make it out of the prison.
Nope. Yeah. And then the last one,
Jason Statham.
Black Ops 3 was...
Jason Statham.
Yeah, Black Ops 3 was a whole psychological mindfuck, like the whole game.
Yeah.
Come with me if you want to see many, many bad action
and it was
movies.
crazy, like completely, like, and at the end you're like, wait, was I really the other guy the whole time? Wait, what was going on there?
Yeah.
Hold on.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And I did like how the Modern Warfare series, they all linked to each other.
Yeah,
And at the end, you know, the price goes in.
Oh, Price is awesome. Yeah.
And then it was really good. I like the storylines.
My thing with stories of any kind is that I have a thing where people have to die, and I don't mean like violent deaths, but like if the story doesn't have someone important being killed, there's no weight in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So like for example, if The Walking Dead never killed anybody you didn't expect,
I probably wouldn't be watching it.
like they can kill people left and right, but the moment they killed his wife, for example, I didn't see that coming at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, whoa. And that's the kind of storytelling I like, where they, not curveballs, but just where they go, we're willing to go wherever it takes to do a story. Which is why one of my favorite stories is Final Fantasy VII, because I didn't expect them to kill her.
Oh, with the
It got too far into the game, and you had put too much work into the character that you're like, there's no reason.
You didn't think they would.
No.
Yeah. As far as Final Fantasies, I would say who did the best storytelling was Final Fantasy VI. I love the story of Final Fantasy VI.
The fact that you got pixel art, it's just damn pixel art, and yet the scene where they make you go around and look for food all over the place for Sid, and if you don't do it right, he dies, and if you do, he passes out and you think he's dead, and they actually force you to walk up a mountain and jump off the cliff under your own control, like you're like you've given up on life and it's time to kill yourself, and you jump off, and you're mind blown. And then they do that opera scene with the small thing that has nothing to do with the story at all, and by the time you get done watching it, you're like, I want a mini game where I can find out exactly what happened in this kingdom from this opera story.
Oh yeah. No, and Kefka, they did a great with just telling how, just like his psychological down, holy crap.
Yeah, and all he ever did was laugh. And yet
you see how crazy he was.
Yeah,
he's just lost his mind.
Was always one of the best at it. It's kind of ridiculous how good they are at it. In the new one, take a minute. I'm gonna give you 30 seconds, and I'm gonna. All right. So here's a spoiler. So you guys got 30 seconds because Nick's not playing this damn game. He doesn't have a PlayStation. He'll never play this game. They kill Luna Freya. All right. In this short little scene, right? And you're just like, oh wow. But you're not. It doesn't bother you yet, right? Until they do a cutscene where he's passed out and he's dreaming, and he's seeing her, and he's floating in this almost like an ocean with all these flowers. It's a significant flower because she gave it to him when they were kids, and he's always held onto it in a little book to remember her, right? So you see all these flowers, and they're all starting to bleed their color out, like it's going into the ocean. And she's talking to him in her adult version, and he's the little kid from all the cutscenes where they're telling you about their past. And when she says goodbye, Noctis, he jumps forward to grab at her, and he turns into the adult Noctis, and his eye, the expression on his face, and you immediately feel it. And I almost shed a tear. I was like, fuck, I'm gonna wreck this guy. I got real sad, and then I was like, I can't wait to get this dude, because that one split second of him turning from the little kid to the adult, but still having the face of a terrified little kid as she's dying in front of him, was ridiculously well done.
Yeah.
You have to see that scene to understand what I mean.
Yeah. No,
but I said,
as far as you were saying before, TV shows really need to take a lesson from HBO and Showtime shows in general. And mostly because there's a great show right now called Timeless.
Oh, you started watching it?
It's a great show. They have a brilliant cast to do this, but I can already tell from fifth or sixth episode, they are really timid at killing characters. So they had a perfect chance to have a character go down in a blaze of glory, and they didn't do it, which makes me go, okay, I'm going to stop watching the show probably after the first season. And it's because you're afraid. You're afraid to kill these characters off, and it's really bad. People like a good tragedy when they're watching movies and they're reading books. This is just a basic principle, people. That's why HBO shows like Game of Thrones and Walking Dead are so popular. And and now Westworld is extremely popular. These shows are not afraid to have a main character just be killed off like it's nothing, because it makes for a good tragedy.
It's not just the tragedy part, though. It's just the fact that it gives it weight. The story setting is a world that's at war with aliens, and yet the aliens never kill anyone. You know what I mean? Like, what's the best example of it? There was an old show. Like, remember Lois and Clark?
Yep.
All right. At no point did Superman ever fight a villain that could hurt him or kill anyone.
Oh yeah. Well,
at
no,
no
yeah,
point
you don't
did
ever
you
have
care.
like, and you lose that intensity of like watching the show. Like, oh my god, what's gonna happen?
Yeah, you
Like,
have to
there's nothing
know.
there.
There
Nothing.
has to be a death so that you at least know that they can, and when you know that they can, it makes the the conflict real.
Yeah.
It's not real until someone gets killed.
What a good story in a game was, and it's still a good story, is Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
That is
Because
just a mind, like the whole. It's deep. I still don't understand some of it because it's like so much going on.
And the best part about that is that you wouldn't think that game had a deep story at all.
No. You're like, oh, Disney characters with Final Fantasy. Okay.
And even in that game, they don't kill anybody, but you still feel the weight. You
Yeah.
still worry.
Well, people
about
go
these-
missing.
Yes, but the way they tell it, you still worry because you
Yep.
feel like
Well-
it could all come apart at any time.
Yeah, like from the very first one, like one of the main characters turns out to be the bad guy at the end. He looks so much like Kid Sephiroth, it's crazy. But yeah.
Nate, when you post this, make sure you put a spoiler header because I don't want people getting pissed. I gave you 30 seconds, but I don't want people getting pissed. There's a spoiler.
Alright, so Final Fantasy 2017 anniversary coming soon.
Okay,
Maybe.
and keep in mind this is just a rumor, and no one knows. It sounds too good to be true because they're talking like, a collection that has.
All
They're
of
talking
them.
about two
Oh,
collections.
really?
Yeah, they're talking about a collection that has, every single one all the way up to 9 on one Blu-ray, with the original remake. You know, the ones that they did remakes for, like Final Fantasy 1 and all the
Well-
way up to like.
Yeah, they're 6, yeah.
Yeah, the ones that did the remakes for, though. They haven't done remade 6 yet. But the ones that they've done remakes for supposedly will have both the original and the remade version, too.
Oh, wow.
So this sounds a little too good to be true.
That's a lot.
And also, the bigger rumor is that there's going to be a Final Fantasy X 10-3.
10-3.
Mm.
Yeah. You say that, Nate, all right? To a degree, you're right. But what are the strong points of Final Fantasy X? It was the
I
story.
can't think of any.
It was the story. It was the characters. It was the combat system. All right.
Combat
The
system
world-
wasn't that bad. No.
The world is the reason why it sucked because
Yeah.
So imagine if they remake Final Fantasy X and they go, let's make an open world like Final Fantasy 15 and put the same story into it with the same characters and the same combat system.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden you have a way better game because now you have the open world that you want from a Final Fantasy game, but the great story of that game because that game has a great story and the ending
Yeah.
is tier worthy too.
Yeah.
Now, for it being just a rumor, they do have a lot of information about it. Like
That's why people think it's a rumor because it seems so robust.
Yeah, but are they going to have
It's
Final
like-
Fantasy Mystic Quest in there?
Oh, dude, that might be my next epic run because I have to do something short so I can catch up and I can beat that in like 4 hours.
Yeah.
So I'm
soundtrack,
debating.
Crystal Necklace, Moogle Plush, a Black Mage statue, and 3 Final Fantasy trading card game starter decks.
Yeah.
You would have to understand this makes perfect sense because Square is trying to revive their franchise and they want to build off of Final Fantasy VII Remake because that's going to sell 10-50 million no matter what.
Oh, yeah. It's stupid.
Like if you look at the numbers for Final Fantasy 15 in Japan today, they're soft. They're 40% lower than 13. Although they did say they sold 5 million copies in 2 days. It's just they're trying to rebuild their franchise after the damage 13 did to it.
Mm-hmm.
So you could see this because what better way to get new people into Final Fantasy than to give them all the great ones that were good,
Oh, yeah.
and then hit them with a remake of the new one, of Final Fantasy 7 at the end of it.
Yeah, which is still considered like absolutely one of the best.
Yeah.
So
Nintendo Switch might play GameCube games. Might.
Now, not like the disc, but they're gonna bring them to the Uplay, or what do they call it? The
It used to be Nintendo Club. Now it's the Wii Shop or something.
yeah.
honest question, who cares?
Um,
Well, I guess none of the other consoles did play. Well, some did. No, they didn't.
no, they didn't have GameCube. No, they didn't have GameCube in the what do you call it, in the store.
Yeah.
No. So this will be a new thing to the store, which will be
Because
interesting.
there are some good GameCube games that I
Out there,
that I
yeah,
wouldn't
there's some
mind
really
playing.
There are, but those good GameCube games have had newer iterations, so why play them again? Like, Smash Bros? You get the new Smash Bros. Mario Kart? You get the new Mario Kart. tennis, you get the new tennis. Like, the only good games on the GameCube were the games that they've continued to keep making new games of.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the problem. Like, I'm not excited about that, except for the two Biden Kaidos games.
Super Mario Sunshine.
Super Mario Sunshine will probably just show up on the Switch as a downloadable game. That's what I need.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I don't see the excitement behind a GameCube emulation when they didn't have any games you would want other than their games, which are already available.
It was a decent system. It just
Yeah, the support was...
yeah, it was another one of those. Just like how the Wii worked, there was a lot of just shovelware, just a bunch of just meh games.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the last topic for our gaming segment of the episode, Sony announces first iPhone and Android games.
Including Hot Shots Golf, Yokai Watch,
Don't you
Project
say
Field, and more.
Don't you freaking say it, Nate.
What?
I want to murder people.
Oh, whoa, Parappa.
You didn't read the whole thing, Nate. You don't know me as well as I thought you did, bro. Go look at that list again. Take a second to look at that list.
Ark the
No.
Lad Wild Arms.
I have been waiting for a new Wild Arms for freaking 15 years. And they're going to put it on a phone? It better... it better be... If it's going to be on a phone, it literally better be like Final Fantasy the After Years. Because that was an actual game. If you ever
Or
saw that name.
any of the Dragon Warriors either. Those are really good.
Yes,
that was too
it
fun.
better be just give me a game like that I can then buy on Steam later that will be a regular RPG because I really want a Wild Arms, and there have been rumors for about a year and a half that the guy who made them is back and they're working on a Wild Arms, and then lo and behold, it's a freaking mobile game. Please tell me it's just a regular RPG that they're putting on a mobile, and it just
It's gonna be a runner.
No,
A free
just
runner.
literally go. We're making a PS1 style RPG with sprites, and we're putting it on a phone. And then I'll go, all right, cool, because when it comes out on Steam, I'll pick it up. Or when it comes out on PSN, I'll pick it up. But
Or
don't
the-
tell
or
me
on the
you're
Switch.
making
Yeah.
some freaking tap. No, I need a real RPG because it's Wild Arms and it's my baby and I love it, dude.
So,
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching the gaming portion of getTekt.
yeah.
I'm gonna go hang myself in a chair now.
So, yeah. Comment, like, and subscribe, and we'll
Subscribe.
see you next time.
Button's
Oh,
right over there.
hold up before you stop.